Hey guys, my name is Bando, this is Breakfast with Bando, and this is part 2 of my Thousand Sons Legion showcase, showing the final part of the Legion. Everything is now finished, I'm completely done. I will add probably one more character, one more unit in here just to bring them up to the full 100 Marine company strength. Maybe some tanks in the future, but as of right now I have no plans to work on these guys going forward anymore. I'm shifting over to working on some other projects. So this is it. So yeah, let's take a look at what I've got here. So first up, I have just finished today my 10-man Tartarus Terminator squad. These guys are made from a mixture of the Scarab Occult Terminators and the regular Tartarus Terminator kit. The two kits are completely interchangeable, they are identical, they just have slightly more embellishment on the 40k Scarab Occult kit. And there are some bits on there I don't like. For example, the head crests I'm not a big fan of. So they were all cut off and sanded down before putting the models together. I left only one onto the Sergeant, so he is nice and easily identifiable. And I gave half the squad Thunderhammers, which are all taken from the Mark III kit. These were a bit of a pain. I basically had to sand the handles down on them, drill big holes through the hand, and stick them through. One of them I tried cutting in half, and then pinning it together, and it didn't work. So yeah, I went that way instead. Yeah, they were a bit of a pain. I could have just bought myself some Thunderhammers, like Terminator scale ones, but I had these handy, and I think they look fine. Plus the style of them, they're a little bit more the sort of clubbish kind of hammer you'd expect for like an Egyptian themed force. The ancient Egyptians didn't particularly have many war hammers in their inventory, being the Bronze Age and all. Then I used combi bolters from the Tartarus set. I simply prefer them. I think the big round magazines look better. I think they look a bit more archaic. I think the combi bolters that come with the Tartarus kit are just a bit too square. They look a bit too much like storm bolters, personally. I made some combi weapons using parts from the vehicle upgrade kit, or the sprue that comes with all the tanks. So there's just an eclectic choice of multi-melt or combi motors, combi Volkite, combi flamers, and then I have 2 plasma blast guns, and because they can either be plasma blast guns or they can be Everfire cannons, I decided to use plasma guns from the old Dark Angels Deathwing kit. They're big, they're chunky, they're archaic, they look like a serious piece of kit. And I like the way they've come out. Those guys have just been given power fists. And they're a pretty sort of simple thing. The other 5 guys have lightning claws. Well, 5 guys, 3 guys, 3 or 4 of them. I think it's 3. I have lightning claws, which is just straight up from the Tartarus kit. Yeah, so I've mixed and matched all the parts together from the 2 different kits, trying to make sure that no one has, nothing from the other kit. That everyone's got a little bit from each kit. The Sergeant has some parts from the Exalted Sorcerers kit, namely the tassels, which are the snapping birds, and a couple of the scrolls. And he's got a Mark II head from the vehicle upgrade set. Then I've thrown in some pouches, grenades, doodads, the usual, plus some loincloths from the Tartarus kit, the Scarab Tartarus kit, but also from the Eldar. I've got some bits in there from the Wraithguard kit, which I've also used on, I think it was the Kennetai Cult had them. But these were the bigger ones, the ones that are sort of multi-plate, and I just think they're a bit more interesting. They add a bit of variation, and add something to sort of the imposing size of the Terminators. Now this squad could be run as 2 5-man squads, or it could be run as a nice big 10-man squad. Last up, the Sergeant has a sword, which again comes from the Wraithguard set. And I've used a lot of blues and greens to try and add some variation here. I'm sorry about the coloration and the darkness here. For some reason it wasn't really... the camera wasn't playing ball here very well. So let's see what we've got next. So next up is the Legion support section. So these are heavy and special weapons. I've got a 7-man support squad, tactical support squad armed with flamers. Now this was made in 1st edition where the sergeants could still take combi weapons. I don't believe they can do that anymore, unfortunately, so I do have to swap out his weapon at some point. They've mostly got Heresy Flamers, but I did run out, so a couple of them have got the Thousand Suns Flamers, and as you can see, these guys are actually made from the Rubrics kit. The Rubrics kit works for full 30k. The biggest changes you need to make is swapping out the weapons, the heads, and the backpacks, and sometimes maybe even the shoulder pads, but the shoulder pads not so much. So these guys are supposed to be one of the teams that are tasked with the burning and destruction of, gathered knowledge. You can see here some of them are in poses that are like, begging to know why they're destroying this sort of valuable information, and others are just dutifully getting on with their job. Then I have a 5-man heavy bolter team, and this is made from the new Mark 6 kit, with some random heads, some from the Mark 2, the Mark 4, there's a Mark 3 helmet in there. There's also the last of the Kenetai helmets in there, just to signify the Sergeant. These guys, I kind of wanted for a nice smoother look to them, so a lot of them have just got the Mark 6 smooth pads, but I've thrown in some other bits as well, just to break up the monotony. And the heavy bolters, they're all from, I believe, the new kit? Yeah, I think those are all from the new heavy bolter sprue. And then finally, we have the 3 missile launchers. This isn't a, full heavy missile launcher squad. These are to be slotted into veteran squads. So my veteran squads have either heavy bolters or missile launchers in them. And what I want to do is try to get enough of them made so that I can run them either as veterans, or I can run, 5-man missile squads or heavy bolter squads. So the heavy bolters, I've got enough guys to run as their own squad. The missiles, I need, I believe, 1 more. So I just need to find 1 more of these 40k style missile launchers. That's not the only one there is one showing later. So, next up I have a unit of breachers. You've probably seen these, I've posted these around a lot before. And these breachers are made using the shields from Zinj Industries and just regular Mark III Marines. And they are... there's not much to really say about them. They're a unit of Mark III bolter guys with some shields. There's a las cutter in there. I used the las cutter because not many people use them. I thought it was an interesting looking weapon. If I was going to be gaming with these, I'd probably build a couple more of them and arm them with something different, like melter guns or flamers. And the Sergeant has parts from Araman. He has Araman's staff, and he has Araman's cloak with a iron halo kind of thing over the top of it. I think the staff actually comes from the Exalted Sorcerer's kit, possibly, but it's the top of it is from Araman's staff. Yeah, that sounds a lot more accurate. And he's holding a melter bomb ready to give it to someone as soon as they get close enough. Also, you can see here a unit of 5 Cataphracti Terminators, and these guys are armed with lightning claws, and then we've got a heavy flamer with a chain fist. And these guys, these are inspired by a lot of the older artwork you'd see out there for the Horus Heresy, a lot of the pre-Heresy artwork from the Collected Visions sets. which has all the Terminators with massive top knots on the top of their armour. They also have shin plates that have come from Custodes, just to give them some more bulk. And then they have these weird cloaks, like tassets or whatever you call them, around their waist. Those have come from Custodes bikers, the 40k Custodes bikers. There are some other bits in there as well, but yeah, that's it. And I did that because I wanted to give them a real sense of motion, and I think that's been accomplished. The Sergeant has a burning brazier on top of him. It's a little bit word bearerish, but I didn't have enough top knots because they only come in boxes of 3. If I had another 2 top knots, I would probably clip that off and pop it on there, and then I'd put one onto the grenade harness of the Flamer guy. Again, these are all based on the standard resin bases. The first set of Terminators you saw, the Tartarus ones, they actually had bases I'd made up from plasticard and then sand, basically. Then I have my veteran squads, or my Mark III veteran squads. So this is 2 squads of Marines. They've got a load of 3D printed heads from all sorts of different sort of providers. They've also got some of the Achaean heads in there as well. And these were some of the first of the Thousand Suns models I actually did quite some time ago. You see they've got some of the really old style over-the-shoulder heavy bolter, and some bits from, you know, various 40k Thousand Sun sets, some of the arms, some of the weapons. But yeah, these were the earliest of the Thousand Suns I worked on. Showing their age a little bit. Probably all need their bolters drilling out, unfortunately. But this is 2 squads, usually armed with either a pair of heavy bolters or a pair of missile launchers. But I should have enough Marines to be able to run them as just 2 tactical squads as well. I like the Mark III Marines. I think they look really cool in their more archaic look than the Mark IV. I think it just helps kind of give a bit more interest to the models. You know, I think the sort of Mark IV armour was a bit plain at the time, and I wanted something that was a bit more old. Like I said, the picture of the Assault Marines really was my inspiration, and they're in Mark II armour. So the segmented back ends of these armours, obviously it's just Mark II armour with extra plates. And these were made back when you could still get your hands on a copy of Burning of Prospero, which is an absolutely fantastic game. I love Burning of Prospero. It was a brilliant box set. Not as good as Betrayal at Calth, but nowadays, you know, if we could still get a hold of either of them, I would definitely still be buying them. Hashtag bring back Calth, hashtag bring back Prospero. And then we have another tactical squad in Mark IV armour. These guys, they're just regular Mark IV Marines, but I've given them the bolter arms from the Mark VI kit. These were kind of I've got some models left over and I just need to build them. The Sergeant has a Power Fist, and he's also got one of the Mark IV Thousand Suns Veterans torsos. Might actually be from the Kenetai Cult set. I think a couple of them have those. Again, these are supposed to be veterans. They can have a special weapon. These guys have just got bolters with them. And they are accompanied by the 3rd member of the Command Squad, also to be used as a Opatai or Centurion, made from the Mark VI kit and some other bits, such as the last backpack I had from the Exalted Sorceress kit. He's also got a knife from that kit, a sword, and some other, you know, bits and pieces. This was the last model I finished. He's just got finished today, about sort of 30 minutes ago, so he's probably not even dry, technically. And I also drilled in and added some rivets to the front of his shin to kind of make it a little bit more visually interesting. I do like those rivets. I can't remember where I get them from. Zind Industries, probably. But they have like they're like a mushroom shape, and you just drill a hole through and slot them in, and then just dab a glue to hold them in place. So that's it. That's the army. I'm hoping I've got a nice big picture here of the whole thing together. I've added it up. It's not a huge amount of money. It's not a huge amount of points. It's about 3,000 points without any updates. Like any upgrades at all, it's under 3,000 points. So if I was to upgrade things, give people their weapons and the war gear they're represented as having, I'm sure it would be closer to 4,000. But as is, it's a relatively small force. Like heresy-wise. That's probably because lack of vehicles, lack of tanks. What are my plans for the future? More tanks. More dreadnoughts. I want to add at least 2 or 3 rhinos, a land raider, maybe a Deradrea dreadnought, at least another Castaferum dreadnought, and a Contemptor at some point. Flesh out the command squad. Maybe take all of the heavy weapons squads and special weapons squads all the way up to 10-man squads. And maybe another 5 Kenetai Occult. But as I said, that's it for the moment. I won't be working on these guys for quite some time. And next up is going to be my Raven Guard, who I'm going to be focusing on going forward. So, these guys, the Terminators at least, the earliest record I can see of them going back is about 115 weeks. Which is, over 2 years ago. So they've taken a while to get done. And that's mostly been motivation. I have enjoyed. I have not enjoyed. I've learnt a lot. And I've struggled with some of this. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you've watched the first part as well. Let me know what your favourite unit was. If there's anything you'd like to see more of. Yeah. So that's it. My Order of the Jackal. The, Warriors of the Crimson King, ready to defend Prospero from the ravening grey horde of the Rout. My name is Bando. This has been Brexit Bando. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learnt something. I hope it inspired you. If you've made it this far, just say hi, Bando. And, like, comment, subscribe. If you are picking stuff up from Element Games still, you can use my code JAM737 to double your reward points. I know a couple of you are still shopping there, and I do appreciate it. If you want to support the video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the share button. And if you guys are off to Colours in Newbury this weekend, I will be attending. No, I won't be posting my face and coming wearing a t-shirt saying hi, my name's Bando. But I know which ones of you are there. I'll see you before you see me. Alright guys, have a great day. Bye bye.